Why don't you pretend I blew that right in your face, Hollywood? Couple reasons for this video. It's been a while since I made the last one. Two of the main reasons are to explain to you that this is indeed my exit from thedirty.com. Trust me, by the time this video is done, you will know, yep, Spurs fans done. And also to talk about what went on at Hollywood's party in Dallas. So I go to this party in Dallas. You know, I bring Hollywood some gifts. I bring them a little coloring book. It's a Darth Vader coloring book and some crayons. You know, that way you can color at work. And I bring him a little crack pipe because Richie Richie had said in St. Louis that he had smoked crack in the bathroom. And I brought Jaden a little Spock figurine. You know, Hollywood finds a joke in it. You know, he gets a good laugh. Jaden, you know, she giggles and hands the Spock figurine back to me. You know, I gave it to her because of her Spock ears. And she gives it back to me and says, hey, at the end of the night, I'll pick this up. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Well, you know, we're there for a little while. Probably about 45 minutes. So I call Hollywood over. You know, he comes scurrying over. And I tell him, I say, hey, man, I said, you have to learn how to treat Richie Rexick a little bit better. I mean, she's willing to pay you 10 grand for a party in St. Louis. St. Louis. And then you're going to treat her like crap, and now you're not going to get anything. So Hollywood says, yeah, you know, she won't even talk to me. No kidding. So I tell Hollywood, you know, I mean, maybe I ought to be like the middleman here. I was like, guarantee you she still wants to throw a party, you know. So I said, how about we work out a deal? I said, maybe she'll pay 3 to 6 grand for a party. I was like, I'll get half, you know, and that way you end up with something and a party in St. Louis. So Hollywood looks at me and tells me, I can't believe he told me this, bro. He tells me, my fee is 10 grand per party. Like, what are they looking for? $9,400 write-off, bro? So I guess, you know, he sees the look of just bewilderment on my face. I mean, I'm confused, just looking at him like, what? So, you know, he goes scurrying off. Probably about 30 minutes later, I'm just looking over at him like, damn, you must just think I'm dumb. So he's standing over there with some, like, tool. You know, this guy's, like, eyeballing me. So, you know, I walk over to this fat kid, and I step over his salt lick, and I mosey up to him, and him and Hollywood are sitting there twittering. So I tell this fat kid, I say, hey, man, I said, I think you might be a follower of mine on Twitter. A follower. Give me a break. So apparently, you know, this guy, he really doesn't like that response. So, you know, I walk away, and I see the next day where Hollywood's talking about this kid, and he says, you know, this one kid has game. At what, an eating contest, bro? Give me a break. So later on in the party, you know, I mean, this is probably about 1:45, 1:50. Hollywood comes over and he says, hey, we're leaving. I said, you're leaving? And he says, he cops an attitude with me. He says, yeah, what do you want me to do? You want me to stick around? He's like, I can leave this bag here, you know, his bag of presents. Yeah. I was like, okay, bro, I mean, I don't know who you think you were talking to, bro, but you can't talk to me like that. And not only that, Jaden seems not really care so much about her Spock figurine. I mean, she doesn't even say goodbye. So the whole way home, you know, I'm coming back to San Antonio, and I'm thinking, you know, that's unbelievable. I mean, all that time I spent up on that site, it's been over a year. And let's not lie, I mean, most of my comments have been, you know, great. And this is the way he's going to treat me? So, I decided, last week, that Hollywood, it's time for me to start up my own site. As a matter of fact, I already started it, solely based on bashing you. And it's called SpursFanSays.com. So, let me just give you a rundown of who's going to get hit hard. Okay? Nick or Hollywood, of course, you're going to get it bad. Jaden, if I were you, I'd probably just go into hiding. I mean, you might want to just, like, stay away from a computer for, like, 2 months, you know. Caden, Bozo. You know, Caden, I really don't have a problem with you. I mean, you're just so nice. Hairspray, lingerie, when you learn to speak properly. But you're part of the crew, so unfortunately you're going to get it too. Cholo, feel sorry for you. Merlin, Pixie Queef. I mean, buddy, I can't explain to you how bad you're going to get ripped up. I mean, it might be time for you to put on some sleeves and come out of the closet, bro. I mean, it's going to be pretty frigid for you for a little while. Madam, you're going to get it hard. Let me tell you who has immunity so far. Okay? Tristan, you have immunity because you talk with a lisp. And it just makes it way too easy for me to rip on you. What a joke that guy is. My dad's a racist. And he writes a letter to Nik Richie. Fag. Coog, you have immunity. Only because talking trash to you would be like going down and talking trash to my grandma. So there's just no challenge in that. I mean, Hollywood, you know, I've sat back this whole time and watched you just berate other people and make them feel bad. And I was just thinking, you know, I mean, who better to do this than me? I mean, I came over from your site from the very beginning, stomped on it, and within 2 weeks, you're saying, go start up your own website. Well, I have, Hollywood. SpursFanSays.com. And I don't even know if it's going to be funny, Hollywood. It's just going to be mean. So that's it, indeed. Not going to lie, I feel like flexing, but I don't have any muscles. Let's not lie. I guess I should go over the best rips I read, you know, towards me on the dirty.com. I mean, Wapness, you're E.T. with AIDS. And, E.T. with AIDS. And, what was it? The Powder with AIDS. Those are great, man. Powder with AIDS. But I have to say the best rip I ever read on there was when the Make-A-Wish Foundation chimed in and stated that they had found out I have leukemia and AIDS, which I didn't even think was possible, and that they're going to set up a threesome with me, Tony Parker, and Richard Simmons in San Francisco. I can't tell you how much that made me laugh. So, yeah, I guess that's about it, Hollywood. I guess I should come out a little bit to give you something to rip me on, Hollywood. I will say my first name. I'm not going to say my full name quite yet. But my first name is Casey, and that's with a K. So those of you who want to go on over and rip me on this video as well, go right ahead. It's spelled with a K. You know, I'm sure I've never heard anything that you'll come up with. Anyway, I'm quite surprised, disappointed that nobody came up with the term Del Gribble for me, or whatever that loser's name is, the King of the Hill. Frankly, that's probably what I would have gone with had I wanted to rip myself, which I don't know why anyone would want to. I'm just a great guy. But anyway, that's it, Hollywood. Gotta do one thing here, Hollywood. One more time, homie. Watch you and your goons, once again, pretend I blew that in all your faces. And I have to tell you, by the time I'm done with you all, your little scissor gang mafia is going to be broken, homie. All right, that's it.